Let's begin with the first section of our lecture, sexual dysfunction. And in this section, we will talk about the male sexual dysfunction. What's the physiology of male sexual response? We will talk about the neural control, penile smooth muscle relaxation and erection, and also biochemical pathways modified by PDE5. So first, the sexual dysfunction. And what is sexual dysfunction? Problem occurring during any phase of the sexual response cycle that prevents the individual or couple from experiencing satisfaction from the sexual activity, and this is labeled as the sexual dysfunction. So at any phase, it's not in some particular phase or step, but it's any phase. If there is failure or that prevents the couple from experiencing satisfaction, then this condition is labeled as sexual dysfunction. The physiology of male sexual response. Here we have the four stages of the male sexual response: the excitement phase, and then there is the plateau phase, orgasm, and then there is resolution phase. So all these are the four phases of the male sexual response, and in this you can see the diagrammatic picture of all these phases. So in the excitement phase, there is and then we have the plateau phase, orgasm, and the resolution or relaxation. Normal male sexual function requires an intact libido, ability to achieve and maintain penile erection, and ejaculation. These are the different phases of male sexual response. So intact libido, ability to achieve and maintain erection, ejaculation, and the tumescence, or at the end the relaxation or phase. So all these are the four stages or the requirements of the normal male sexual response. Next, the physiology of male sexual response. Here we can see different steps that can ultimately lead to the erection and ejaculation phase. So there is increased blood flow occur, and this causes increased shear stress with the increased blood flow. And then there is different steps that ultimately leads to the production of nitrous oxide, which cause conversion of GTP into cyclic GMP and AMP, and this is the source of the energy taking place under the guanylyl cyclase. So parasympathetic nervous system is stimulated, and then there is sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic mainly cause excitation, and then there is sympathetic nervous system involvement that cause the tumescence phase or the relaxation phase or the return to the normal phase. And then there are some drugs also that can be used in different steps or different phases, and that can try in the process of causing improvement in the male sexual response. Here we can have alprostadil that can be used. It's PGE, and then it causes GPCR activation that act on adenyl cyclase, again cause ATP to AMP, first CMP and then 5-AMP. And then another we can have papaverine that acts on the stage where there is PDE 2, 3, 4 involved. So these are different medicines that can be used to improve the male sexual response. The main physiology is involved is the increase in the blood supply, increased vascularity, and then there is smooth muscle causes relaxation, and then we have the increased blood flow that increase the tone and cause the phase of erection and then the ejaculation. So mainly it is by the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system which causes the production of nitrous oxide, and then it can cause stimulation of guanyl cyclase and then different steps causing GTP to cyclic GMP and then 5-AMP. And then there is decrease in the calcium level also. One of the medicines, the action of them is the decreased level of calcium, and calcium is required by the muscles for contractility. When calcium is decreased, this can cause relaxation, and this is also involved in the step in male sexual response. Then there is endothelial cell involvement also, where there is release of angiotensin 2, prostaglandin F2, alpha endothelin, and this also cause the tonic inhibition and relaxation of the smooth muscle. So these are all different steps that are involved in the male sexual response, and the medicines used for this disorder, they interact in different phases of this reaction and try to relieve the abnormality or control the abnormality. Neural control of male sexual response, how the nervous system comes into the male sexual response and what are the effects of this. So mainly the response is through the spinal cord L1, L2. So it's in the lower lumbar region, lumbar 1 and 2. The stimuli goes from their efferent sympathetic signals from level of L1 and L2. The efferent sympathetic signals, now what they do is they cause ductus deferens exhibit peristalsis. Sperm are moved into ampulla, ampulla contracts, sperms are moved into urethra. Then there is prostate secrete components of the seminal fluid. Seminal vesicles secrete components of the seminal fluid. So the neural control of the sexual response in male is controlled by efferent stimuli from L1 and L2. This in turn causes different effects. It causes these peristalsis or movement of ductus deferens, and then with that peristalsis, sperms which are produced, they move into the ampulla, and then ampulla contracts and then push the sperms into the urethra. Then they also cause the prostate, which is the gland in the males, which secretes the component of seminal fluid, which cause lubrications, and then seminal vesicle also secrete component of the seminal fluid. All this is the neural control of male sexual response. Penile smooth muscle relaxation and erection. Here in this diagram there is the flaccid lateral view, and these are the transverse view in these two diagrams. Then we have the in the transverse there is deep dorsal vein, then we have corpora cavernosa, and then cavernous arteries are present, spongy urethra, and prepuce here, and corpus spongiosum. So these are different structures present on the lateral view and the transverse view. So again, as in the first stage, what happens is cavernosal arteries. So the artery, this artery, cavernosal artery, these are the arteries, they become dilated, and with the dilation there is increased blood in these arteries. So they are dilated and they become engorged with the blood. Next, engorged arteries, corporal tissues to swell and cause erecting of the penis. So the initial step is the engorgement, dilation of the arteries that can cause swelling and erection of the penis. Here, this is the diagram, normal, and then once it's erected as a result of the dilation of the corporal arteries and the tissues. So this was all about section 1, in which we talk about the different physiology of the male sexual response. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.